Hello and welcome to a new episode of Green Care with Marco. Today I'm going to show you how to make a kokedama. A kokedama means moss ball in Japanese, and it's kind of the Japanese answer to the hanging basket. So what we need for today's activity is multi-purpose compost, bonsai compost, moss, twigs, and a couple of trays, jug of water, and ferns. For this type of activities, ferns are perfect, but also plants like ivy, violas, or cyclamens for outdoors are perfect as well. So now it's time to really get messy. And what we got to do, we got to take our sleeves up first. I'm gonna use a pair of plastic gloves just because I don't want to ruin my lovely gardening gloves. So let's start with a little bit of this first. Seems like I'm gonna do a surgery, but I just don't want to get too much messy. And I think although you should be got used to now with working with me, getting into green care activities and getting messy. So I've got equal parts of bonsai compost mix, equal parts of compost mix. What we need to do, we mix them together and then we start adding a little bit of water. Then water, and this way, let's see what we're gonna get. Yeah, so let's mix this up. We need to make a ball out of here. So we got the mix, we got the compost. Now we just need to mix this like that. And we start making we don't want this to be too wet. We kind of looking for that kind of cake mix consistency. So let's try to wrap this up a little bit. We keep adding. Great, so we keep working our ball. We can just press a little bit onto the tray. So in this way, we're giving a nice shape. And to be fair, the result now looks messy, will be like a sculptural object for your garden. As we reach the right consistency, we split the ball in two parts. And what we got to do next, we're going to collect our fern. Fern that has been growing in the wilderness. So, but you can find different type of ferns, outdoor, indoor, in any sort of gardening shop. They're not even that expensive. So, we got the roots here. And what we're gonna do now, remove a little bit of this soil, like that. And this will go inside our bowl in this way. And now we squeeze it back. Like that. And we start working again in order to make sure that it doesn't fall off. If you don't get enough closure the way you would like, we can add a little bit of water. Like that. And we're going back to the ball that we were making before. Couple of hands here should be enough, but this is something that you can do together with a friend or a family member, because when we get to reach to this point here, a little bit of assistance is always needed in a way. So this is what it looks like. Now, to preserve the level of moisture, we're gonna wrap up in moss. And once we completed that, we've got a few more things to do it. So, really engaging activity. Let me just move this further up. And I'm gonna use, actually, let me take this away from the stage. And this way we got 5 more space, and we now start wrapping the moss around our kokedama, which is a beautiful name and a meaning as well. It's kind of like, you know, when we get, especially when we get to the spring or summer season, and we start filling up the hanging baskets with like beautiful colors, beautiful flower. This is another way to, as I said at the beginning, to create like a hanging basket, the Japanese version of an hanging basket. So let's wrap it all around. Moss start to get a little bit more consistent as well. This way. You can find sustainable moss online. You can always try to buy sustainable moss, because moss is so important for the environment. Did you know that moss can actually absorb far more carbon emission than trees? So it's really an important element for our ecosystem. Once we got kokedama wrapped up in moss completely, quite challenging, but we're getting there. Can take the gloves off. We need a little bit more flexibility here now. And to make sure that moss stick to the ball of compost, we can wrap strings all around. So let's start with a long piece of thread. Cut it. And now, perhaps like some expert hands on, you know, when you wrap your turkey for a nice Sunday roast. That's probably sort of like skills that we need here. My grandma used to show me how to do it, but I've always like preferred to look at the turkey going into the oven rather than just, you know, doing all the cooking. But if memory helps me, I'm gonna find my way to wrap these ferns. So I'm gonna try to do the bottom now, because it's a peculiar area, to be fair, and sometimes it can be quite tricky. But if we get like that, get wrapped like that, and tie that knot over here. Tied it up right here. We're gonna space that now. I think we're almost there, huh? Does it stand on his own? No. Let me see. Is it pretty? It is. It's really pretty. Look at that. Fantastic. So we got what we were looking for. So now that we wrap the moss around our bowl of compost, we can still use a little bit of string. So in this case, we can hang the ball of moss somewhere outside in the garden, and it will make a really nice feature. The next process is to dunk this in a bucket of water, let it there for a few minutes until dry, and then hang them outside. You just, during the winter month, you can just water it just like a couple of times. During the summer month, when it's drier, you just need a little bit of water. You can use like a water spray and just keep it moist. And the benefit of this activity is, I don't know, I just had a really good fun. I I'm enjoying myself when I get messy, and enjoying myself when I learn something new. So I hope that today you learned something new, and there's no need for like expert hands. And I found myself really, really relaxing while I was doing this, and I'm really looking forward to share this with my friends and families. And for today, this is it. But keep watching us for more nature-based activities to lift your mood and delve into the natural world. Stay safe. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.